Alright, welcome back to Vincent Wolf's Super Suburb All-Home Family Kitchen Cooking. Today we're going to be working on a chili con carne. Here's our carne. I'll go ahead and I'll put that in, so it's ground beef. Or as we like to call this recipe here at the Super Suburb Cooking Show, chili, just plain old chili. Alright, so we're going to start with the beef, and then we're also, and the beef, understand, has already been fried up and drained and all that stuff. You're going to want to drain out the grease, and we're going to put that in again with our peppers and onions. We're going to have 2 onions, and all the other amounts have all been put in at the beginning there, so you'll see that then. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to mix all that together just long enough for your onions and your peppers and all that to sort of soften. And you'll know it's softened when it starts to glisten. We don't necessarily want it to brown or anything like that, because this is going to keep cooking after we're done. We're going to add some more stuff in, and it's going to continue to cook. So we don't want to overcook things right off the bat. But that's going to take a while. So let me talk to you a little bit about what exactly chili con carne is. All right, and it's a pretty simple sort of a hobo stew type thing. And the way it came about was over a century ago in the 1850s. The Mexican army liked to bring along the ingredients for this stuff in sort of a brick form. They'd take the beef and the beans that makes chili con carne what it is, and they'd carry it around with them with the army, and it could be boiled out whenever it liked. Eventually, citizens, standard people started making it fresh. It became popular in Texas and the Midwest, and now all over the country. And what we're working on right now is just a fairly generic Midwestern style hodgepodge chili. You're going to love it. Alright, so let's see how things are coming along. Looks like we still need some time. Now, what we're using with this one is we're just using sort of a ground chuck type of beef, like a real cheap beef. But depending on what sort of flavors you want, if you want something a little bit more upscale, one of the things you can go with is bison. We're using a lot of it, so obviously we wanted to go with something cheap. And this is just the ideal meal for a large family or a family that's entertaining guests. With this recipe, you're very likely to have leftovers, which is exactly what we want with this sort of a thing. Alright, well that seems to be coming along nicely. We recently added in a tablespoon of some nice diced garlic, and that will complement everything that's in there quite nicely. And speaking of complements, for the flavors we have in here, we also got a thing of spices. And this is a Southwest blend, sort of cumin, paprika, coriander, garlic, and obviously your primary ingredient, chili powder. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add that in. And all the amounts should be in your opening credits. So, you know, be sure to keep an eye out for that when that happens. And we're going to mix that around and just make sure it gets sort of ingrained in the meat, because that's our objective right now. We haven't added in anything around. It doesn't really look like a chili right now. But what we're doing is we're flavoring the meat that we've already put in here. And it's going to go over the heat for a few seconds, just to sort of let that all sink in. And we're going to move on to the core of what makes chili, which is right here. Now this is our black beans, kidney beans, and tomatoes, and you're going to want to use just a whole bunch of that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add those in. And once we get all of these mixed around, it's going to start to look like a proper chili. Alright, now that we've sort of put all of the solid objects into our chili, and there's some liquid that comes with this because you're not going to be draining your beans or your tomatoes or something like that. But really what we need is we need some additional liquid to turn this into the sort of stew that I was talking about at the beginning of the thing. And what we've got is we've got some really nice stuff. We've got a mixture of beef stock and Worcestershire sauce, and that's going to be the majority of the liquid that we put in there. But also we've got two more things that are there, and what they're going to do is they're going to add some tang. And the first thing I've got is some mustard, just regular mustard. Doesn't have to be like a special cooking mustard or a deli mustard or anything like that. Just some nice regular mustard from your local convenience store or whatever. To start off with the tang. And once we've got that in there, we're going to add a little bit of vinegar. And I think what we're going to do there is we're going to add 2 tablespoons. Alright, so let's measure that out real quick. And between those 2 things, you're going to get a nice sort of a sharpness to it. And this is going to make a fair variety in our flavor. And that's all you're going to do. You're going to let this sort of simmer for a while. You see it there, it looks nice. And some people, after this thing sort of finishes cooking, they're going to want to cook it on low for a while, let it simmer and let all the ingredients settle. But we here at Vincent Wolf Super Suburb All Home Family Kitchen Cooking don't really care for that. As soon as it's ready, we're serving it out. You know, just so that it's still hot, everything feels kind of fresh. That's the way we like to do it. Alright, so this is almost ready as it is, and we'll show you what it's like when it's finished, so stick around. So there you have it, folks. That's Super Suburbs All Home Family Kitchen Cooking's recipe for chili con carne. Now, if you're the sort of person who likes to add a bit of kick to your recipe, a little bit of ground cayenne pepper will be a nice complement to that. We like our cayenne pepper here, don't we? No? No? Well, we're going for more of the tenderfoot version here. But if you want a bit of spice, if you really want to add that to your chili, really make it sort of a Southwest style thing, you can't go wrong with a bit of red pepper. Don't go anywhere. Next, we've got Alton Brown's new show, Prehistoric Kitchen, Cooking Before Fire. So stick around.